welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
And welcome back to FedEx Field. 46 degrees, cloudy, not much of a wind as we send it down to the third member of our team, Christina Pink.
Well, Dick, he is the center of attention at all times. All eyes on Robert Griffin III, returning 2 weeks ago against Minnesota, sacked 5 times in that loss before the bye week. Now, coming into this game, he told us, I understand at times I can be a frustrating quarterback for a coach because he has that ability to extend the play, but what he's working on now is knowing when to make the smart decision. Check the ball down, get it out of bounds, and making the smart play, knowing when to concede the play. Let's see if practice comes into play today.
Well, thank you very much, Christina. And Jay Gruden is kind of learning what this quarterback is all about as well. I mean, really, they've 9 quarters has Robert Griffin III played under Jay Gruden's system.
Yeah, the evaluation is still there for Robert Griffin III in this offense. This offense that Jay Gruden has brought to this Redskins team, he's only had Robert Griffin for a couple games. So to see him today, another opportunity to get better.
And he hopes this is a yawner, believe me, after watching Gruden on the sideline. There's Lovie Smith, and both of these head coaches in the first year. Lovie, of course, coached for the Chicago Bears many years, and it's been a kind of frustrating time for him. Certainly didn't anticipate something like a 1-8 start. The Buccaneers have lost 5 in a row. Their only win was at Pittsburgh. They've lost 2 overtime games at New Orleans and home with Minnesota. And the turnover situation, crucial. The only game that they had that turnover edge was in the New Orleans game. The Buccaneers have won the toss. They'll defer, so the Redskins will get the ball first. And Andre Roberts in the end zone will down it there, and the Redskins will start from the 20-yard line. So here is Griffin, still trying to get the hang of Jay Gruden's offense, and 1-7 in his last 8 starts. Sporadic. It's been a while since he's won. Yeah, it's one thing to get the mental reps in practice, but it's another thing to be out there in live game situations. Today, Robert Griffin gets another opportunity, just like 2 weeks ago versus Minnesota, a Tampa Bay team that, to me, looks like they're going to try to pressure him and get the ball out of his hands quick. Well, they haven't put much pressure on this year. One of the reasons they are 1-8. First down, and the pass, and here comes the run, and the pass off the hands, and we have a turnover. Niles Paul was the receiver, bounced off of him, and Danny Lansana has intercepted his 3rd pass of the year. And so if Lovie Smith wanted to get takeaways, he got one right off. Early in the football game, I just talked about, can Robert Griffin III protect not only the football, but himself? That, to me, is a player not trusting in his ability, because we've seen Robert Griffin extend that play, run out of bounds, or pick up positive yards. At that time, throwing the football away cost him a turnover. Well, what a bizarre first play from scrimmage in the game. So what an opportunity now for Josh McCown and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have been slow starters this year and really just haven't scored. And here they are on the 29-yard line. So Lansana with the pick on the deflection. And a first down on the 29. Bobby Rainey tackled for a loss by Keenan Robinson. Loss of 1. So Josh McCown returned as a starter against the Falcons last week. And he took the loss really emotionally. He was really in tears in the post-game press conference. Yeah, definitely. Josh McCown is a competitor, and he talked about being a competitor, having to sit out those games due to injury. And also, 1-8, he said. 1-8, kept repeating that. Second down. And there is a fade throw downfield. Well covered is Vincent Jackson by Rashad Breeland. That's going to be a pretty good matchup today. Let's take a look now at the offensive group for Tampa Bay. And, of course, in Jackson and Evans, 2 outstanding tall receivers. But Josh McCown's going to need time to get the ball to him.
Yeah, he's going to need time, but also running back by committee. We'll see some Charles Sims. Bobby Rainey gets the start, but we'll see Sims as well as James in the backfield.
It'll be 3rd down and 11. Third down and 11. Here comes pressure up the middle. It's picked up. A flag is down. The pass is caught for the first down by Mike Evans, and another flag goes downfield. So 2 penalty markers thrown on this play, and Bill Vinovich and his crew will sort it out.
Illegal use of hands. Hands in the face. Offense number 66. Illegal contact. Defense number 39. By rule, those penalties offset. Replay, 3rd down.
The first penalty was Omame with the illegal use of the hands, and Ryan Clark or David Amerson on Evans. So it'll be 3rd down again and 11 yards to go for McCown and the Bucs.
You take away that hands to the face, that was great blitz protection. Picking up all the guys on the line of scrimmage for Washington. This is what they showed a couple weeks ago against Dallas, showing pressure, bringing not just 5 but 6 men. Can Tampa Bay hold up?
Both teams struggling in 3rd down conversions offensively this year. Getting hit, but the pass is caught by Vincent Jackson and a first down, and McCown stood in there against the hit by Keenan Robinson, the middle linebacker, and a pickup of 16.
This is what you love about Josh McCown. He knows he's getting pressure. He knows he will be hit, but he delivers the football right where it needs to be. Vincent Jackson comes out of his break. Football's right there. Catch 2 feet down. Get out of bounds. It's down Tampa Bay.
So it'll be a first down. At the 15-yard line. Here is Rainey. And Rainey gets a couple of yards. Take a look at the Redskins defense, and tell you one thing, this is a better defense than their numbers have indicated.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Middle linebacker Keenan Robinson, to me, when watching him all season long, filling in for London Fletcher, who retired last year, Keenan Robinson doing a good job manning the middle of this defense.
2nd down coming up. And here's McCown getting time. Doesn't have a receiver. Has to take off. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 10. It was Trent Murphy who chased him and Perry Riley Jr. to follow. And a pickup of 2 yards. So it'll be 3rd down coming up for the Buccaneers.
This is the one thing that we talked with Ryan Kerrigan, defensive end for the Washington Redskins on Friday. He's very aware of what Josh McCown can do getting out of the pocket. He puts a lot of pressure on the defense to make sure the guys stay home, keep him in the pocket, because he's able to extend plays like the last one.
So it'll be 3rd down and 5 at the 9-yard line. Bucs trying to take advantage of the turnover, and McCown loses the ball. And a fumble right around the line of scrimmage, and it is recovered by the Buccaneers, and it's DeMar Dotson, the right tackle. So it'll be 4th down, a field goal try coming up.
To me, it looked like Josh McCown just got the snap, and Trent Murphy just comes in, knocks the football down. I mean, one thing as a quarterback, you're always taught to protect the football and keep it up high, but Josh McCown never even got a chance to protect it because his eyes were downfield. Trent Murphy doing a good job, a guy that the Washington Redskins are happy about as far as his production on the defensive line.
Patrick Murray with a 32-yard field goal attempt, and it is good. And so the Buccaneers recovering a fumble on the first play from scrimmage by the Redskins, take an early 3-0 lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Redskins and Andre Roberts back deep And the turnover on the first play from scrimmage. Michael Kanan, who's having his troubles as a punter, kicking off for the Bucs. And Roberts, the former Cardinal, will run this one out from a couple of yards in the end zone, and he is tackled beyond the 20-yard line. And a good play by Ori Lemon, the former Dallas Cowboy, after a 24-yard return. What a weird first play for scrimmage for the Redskins.
Yeah, it's weird because when we talked to Robert Griffin III, the one thing that he said is it's an ongoing fight with himself as far as trying to throw the football away. He doesn't want to concede a bad play. There was just a bad play. It was a good defensive call. Levante David's there for a sack. He misses the play. Robert just gets out of bounds and go to second down. That time trying to make a play causes a turnover for Tampa Bay.
And a field goal as a result, and first down at the 23. And the play blown dead. It'll be a false start call against the Redskins, bringing up 1st and 15.
False start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
So it was the wide receiver Pierre Garçon. So it pushes the Redskins back, and now 1st and long for a Redskin team which had it going. They won 2 games in a row, beating Tennessee, and of course their biggest win of the year, overtime at Dallas. Colt McCoy leading the way there, and then the Minnesota lost by 3 when Griffin took over again at quarterback. And a pitch to Alfred Morris, and Morris won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Let's take a look at the Redskins offense, and of course Deshaun Jackson delivering as advertised, but the running game hasn't been there for Washington.
No, it has not been there. And one thing Alfred Morris can tell you is that he needs to be more decisive when he hits the hole. He's kind of been waiting, dancing back behind that line of scrimmage. Once you hit it, got to see it and go, and that's one thing Alfred Morris says he's been working on.
Coming off his season's high, however, 92 yards with a couple of scores against the Vikings. 2nd down and 15, and here's Deshaun Jackson at the top. Deshaun Jackson breaks a couple of tackles and will be about 6 yards shy of the first down. So it'll be 3rd down for the Redskins.
To me, this is what you need to do at least 3 to 4 times a quarter. Deshaun Jackson is what I call a game breaker. That he needs the football in his hands at least 3 to 4 times per quarter because of plays like this. That's just a simple screen pass, get a couple blockers out in front, and Deshaun Jackson can take care of the rest.
3rd down and 5, and 3 receivers to the left of Griffin. And the pass caught on the slant. And it'll be a first down for the Redskins as Jordan Reed, the tight end, has become a very valuable receiver after coming back from injury for the Redskins, and a gain of 12 yards. Tampa Bay's defense, McCoy is the key, but the pass rush simply hasn't been there, and the secondary is a bit thin right now. Yeah, definitely a bit thin. Cresden Butler starting for Alteron Burner. Look for the Washington Redskins to pick on Cresden Butler all day today. First down, here's Morris, and Morris with a good run on first down, getting to the 47 before Major Wright, the strong safety, makes the tackle, and a gain of 8. That's decisive. That's decisive by Alfred Morris, but now the hurry up by Washington. He's got time, and Griffin going deep, and Deshaun Jackson. And you mentioned going against Cresden Butler, and that's exactly what that play was drawn up to do, but the pass beyond Jackson incomplete. The only quarterback on this roster for Washington that can outthrow Deshaun Jackson is Robert Griffin III. But this is something that Washington wants to do. Taking a shot at least 2 or 3 times a quarter. I mentioned Deshaun Jackson is the game breaker. You have to do that to keep the defense honest. And Cresden Butler, like I said, the young cornerback, will be picked on all day. 4th worst 3rd down conversion rate in the league for the Redskins. 3rd down and 2. The quick pass, and off the hands of Reed, incomplete. So once again, the Redskins come up empty on 3rd down, and a punting situation and an injury on the field as well. And looks like Trent Williams, the left tackle, is shaken up. And we'll be back to FedEx Field in just a moment.
Today's game is sponsored by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some Buds.
And Trent Williams, the left tackle, being helped off the field. You know, it's interesting. Gerald McCoy was the 3rd overall pick in 2010 out of the University of Oklahoma. And the 4th overall pick was that man, Trent Williams, from Oklahoma.
Yeah, just Trent Williams engaged. Gerald McCoy trying to jump up to block the Robert Griffin pass. It just comes down right on like the right ankle of Trent Williams.
So Tress Way is on. He is the leading punter in the league right now. And Marcus Thigpen is standing at the 10-yard line for the Buccaneers. Thigpen, the former Dolphin, will let that ball bounce, and it goes into the end zone for the touchback. And the Buccaneers will start at the 20. 3-0. Tampa Bay leading.
This game is sponsored by Jeep Grand Cherokee, the most awarded SUV ever.
Jay Gruden's Redskins home for the first time in 4 weeks. Last week was the bye week. And Charles Sims has checked into the game at running back. We can expect to see a lot of him today. Number 34 made his NFL debut last week, rookie from West Virginia. Starting from the 20-yard line. And Sims gets the carry, and he brings it out close to the 25. Jarvis Jenkins, the defensive end, making the tackle. James carried 19 times. Or Sims last week made his debut.
More of an extended role for Charles Sims now. A guy who missed the first half of the season. And now Tampa Bay wants to get this guy in an expanded role. Not just a 3rd down or here and there. Give him a couple series early on to get his feet wet.
Gained 23 yards on the ground, caught a couple of passes as well. And they go to him again. And there's a first down. And now you get an idea why Charles Sims, the 3rd-round pick from West Virginia, would be in there. Was on the injured reserve with a broken ankle. And an 11-yard pickup. And the Bucs are out to the 35.
During training camp, they raved about this guy. It was not about Doug Martin. It was like Charles Sims. Wait till you see this guy. He goes down with the injury. And now being able to go out there and play, you see some of the potential at the running back position now for Tampa Bay.
Doug Martin is out with an ankle injury, 3rd straight game. And a first down, and the pitch going to Sims, turning the corner nicely. And Sims knocked out of bounds with another Tampa Bay first down. A pickup of 12. And Charles Sims making a splash here in the 2nd possession of the game for Tampa Bay.
Well, in order to have a good running game, you have to have good blocking up front. You see the kick-out blocks down. Charles Sims, a guy who not only has the size, but he has the speed. He has the ability to get to the outside. A very rare for a man 6 foot 215 pounds at the running back position.
And there is Williams gingerly walking toward the locker room. First down. And they're going with the hot hand, but this time the tackle Ryan Kerrigan is arguably the best defensive player on this Redskin team. Right there, a loss of 2 on the play as they continue to go to Charles Sims.
Yeah, one thing about Ryan Kerrigan, as you can see, he's one of the guys that we talked to a couple days ago. The outside linebacker role in this defense, you have to be able to cover. You got to be able to get down inside in the passing game, but you got to chase down plays like that in the run game from the backside. Ryan Kerrigan, one of the best at it.
2nd down and 12. Back on the 45, and the pass caught. And they're going to need about 6 yards for the first down as Austin Safarian Jenkins, the rookie tight end out of Washington, gets 7 of those yards back.
Sometimes I think you blink your eye and you say, "What? That was a tight end." Yes, that's a tight end. Safarian Jenkins lined out, flexed out as a wide receiver. This is how this tight end is a little bit different than other tight ends in the NFL because he's able to not only play at the wide receiver position, but as an inline tight end.
Bobby Rainey returns to the lineup there. You see him, number 43, on 3rd down and 5. McCown, and the pass incomplete, and it looked like Louis Murphy was turning to run with the ball and said, wait, I don't have the football in my hands. So it is incomplete. and 4th down punting situation.
Josh McCown plants that back foot, throws, and Bashaud Breeland, the cornerback, the guy who I've been watching on tape over the last couple of weeks. You talk about sticking out. A rookie to be able to play in the NFL, you're going to get, every week is going to be a big task. Bashaud Breeland coming up to the challenge week in and week out.
Michael Kanan punting, and Andre Roberts calling for the fair catch, and it is down to inside the 5-yard line. And a punt of 44 yards. Leonard Johnson alertly down the ball. Robert Griffin III coming out with a long way to go for the Redskins, who trail still 3-0. And the Redskins will start from their 4-yard line with 5:21 to go in the first quarter. And the whistle, penalty, and a penalty against the Redskins. False start.
False start. Offense number 82. Accidents at the goal. Still first down.
Logan Paulson. So 2 receivers have been guilty of false starts. Here's what Robert Griffin has done so far.
To me, this is just a quarterback that just looks rusty. He's coming off a bye week, then only starting 1 game before that. So this is, to me, a guy who's just rusty, trying to find his wide receivers, get on the same page. It's one thing that he said about this offense. Look, I have to understand that I'm just a frustrating guy to coach, and it's going to be hard for Robert to get into the flow of the offense early on, especially coming off a bye week.
Well, half the distance on that false start. It'll be 1st and 12 now from the 2-yard line in the end zone. Griffin trying to get something going, and he gets the pass out to Darrell Young, the fullback. And Young is tackled just outside the 5-yard line by Jonathan Banks. So 3 yards on that play. And it'll be 2nd down for the Redskins. See what the Tampa Bay defense can do to keep the Redskins hemmed in already with a 3-0 lead, getting those points off of a turnover.
Yeah, this Tampa Bay defense, they're feeding off of the turnovers. It's a different kind of tempo when they get a turnover. They play much better at a higher level and a higher intensity.
2nd and 9 from the 5, then the handoff is to Morris, but Larry English is right there, and it's going to be 3rd down for the Redskins, and time for a game break, and let's check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Ryan Mallett's first NFL start, first NFL touchdown to, of all people, J.J. Watt. His 2nd touchdown reception of the year for Watt, 4th score overall. Houston up 7-0 at Cleveland. Dick and Kirk.
I remember when Brian Urlacher used to be on the receiving ends of some of the Chicago Bears play. That's the AFC South so far. Meanwhile, 3rd down and 6.
What else can J.J. Watt do?
He does a lot. Here's a tip ball and an interception. And running it in, Jonathan Banks. Does he get in? He does. Touchdown. Deflected again. Larry English, the defensive end, and the former San Diego Charger, got a hand on that pass from Griffin, and it was picked off by Banks, who runs it in for a Buccaneer touchdown. This is Lovie Smith football, I think.
Yeah, it's Lovie Smith football, trying to get as much pressure as you can on the quarterback, and if you don't get there, just get a hand up. Jonathan Banks being in the right place at the right time. We talk about tips and overthrows. That time, Jonathan Banks got the tip and took it to the house. A scoring play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
18-yard interception return. So Banks with his 2nd interception of the year. Lance Santa had the 1st, and he's returned 2 for touchdowns this year. And English playing a role in that. And Patrick Murray is on, looking to give the Bucs a 10-0 lead. So the first career touchdown for Jonathan Banks. And the kick is good. So Tampa Bay at 1-8, and that is actually the 3rd pick of the year for Banks, and the crowd not pleased at all here at FedEx Field. Well, we're back here, and the Buccaneers lead 10-0. The Redskins have run 10 plays. They've had 2 penalties, 2 turnovers, and resulting in 10 points as Kanan gets set to kick to Andre Roberts. Tell you one thing, the Redskins getting a lot of chances on offense, and running from the 5-yard line is Roberts. Flags go down, and Roberts is tackled at the 25. by Leonard Johnson after a 20-yard return. Ball went loose, but after Roberts was down by contact.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down by contact and recovered his own fumble anyway.
Let's see the interception return for a touchdown again.
During the return,
Just Robert just getting back in there, but the hole, there's a window right there for Robert to throw the football. But when it's not there, you see Mason Foster doing what? Just reading the eyes of the quarterback. We talked about it before the game, that Robert Griffin's progression. Does he stare down the receivers, or will he look away at other receivers during his football game? That time, stared his receiver right down. Mason Foster reading his eyes, got the tip. Jonathan Banks paid it off with the interception for a touchdown.
And this is what we were just talking about. An inauspicious start offensively. Meanwhile, a holding called against the Redskins on the return. So they're starting at the 15. On the 12-yard line, first down and 10. Here's Morris cutting up the middle. And Morris using a lot of strength, getting 9 yards. An impressive run. Right now, let's send it down to Christina Pink.
Thanks, Dick. Morgan Moses has been in there at left tackle. We saw Trent Williams come off the field, walk back to the locker room. He has a right knee sprain, clearly upset about getting hurt. He punched the table in frustration before he went back to the locker room. He is questionable to return.
All right, Christina. Moses, a third-round draft choice out of Virginia. Second down and 1. And Morris getting the first down. Michael Johnson in on the tackle. Morris has not had a 100-yard game in his last 16 appearances, which points up the fact that the running game, and is it Morris or the offensive line, or a little of both here?
Yeah, it definitely has to be a little bit of both, but I think that's the reason why Washington going to this hurry up, trying to catch the defense off guard a little bit, making them have to play more of a vanilla defense than making a play call from the sideline.
Quick toss out to the outside to Deshaun Jackson. First down, and pushed out of bounds by Major Wright. And a pickup of 15. So getting out of trouble. You remember the Redskins started from their own 4.
One thing I said, Deshaun Jackson needs at least 3 to 4 touches per quarter. I'll keep saying it because that's his second touch of the game. They already missed a long pass that could have been completed for a touchdown. But Deshaun Jackson can get you those extra yards, those big play ability that keeps these secondary guys playing back on their heels.
Passing a little bit more than they've run so far. First down on the 38. And the pass outside, and it is caught by Pierre Garçon. But a good gain on first down out to the 44, gain of 6.
I think with the emergence of Deshaun Jackson and what he's done the last couple games, Pierre Garçon has kind of been the forgotten man. He's been the forgotten guy. The last couple years with RG3, it's been Pierre Garçon has been his guy, his go-to wide receiver. So to get him going early in the football game bodes well for this offense.
Well, Jackson, the big play guy, leads the league with an average of 21.8 yards per catch. Second down and 4, and they pitch it to Morris, and Morris stopped, and a good play by Levante David. Talk about the Buccaneers defense. You start with McCoy and David and go from there.
Yeah, you have to start first at the D-line, but then you get down to the second level. Levante David, a guy, when I watch him on film week in and week out, all he does is make tackles. He flies around to the football. And I always talk about the closing picture of a play. You're always going to see 54, no matter what that final picture of a play, because he's near the football at all times.
Third down and 3, Roy Halou. Now in the backfield, good receiver out of the backfield. And Griffin takes off, will get the first down using his legs, and what a leap he makes to the 45 and a first down. You see that on the highlight footage. 10-yard gain. And a leap by Griffin.
You watch Robert here. He goes through his progression. 1, 2. It's not there. He takes off and run. But this is where I talked about in our pregame. Protecting yourself. he is an asset to this football team. Winning and losing evolves around Robert Griffin III. I'd rather see him slide in that position, but putting his body at harm's risk for the first down.
Didn't really protect himself
No,
there.
no, not at all. I want to see you slide there.
Morris is back in on first down. Nearing the end of this first quarter, Morris bounces off a defender, but not two, and down he goes after gaining a yard and a half. 2-yard pickup, and that's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Buccaneers 10 and the Redskins nothing. Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter. Those are the first quarter numbers. Robert Griffin III, 5 for 9 for 47 yards and 2 interceptions. He's going to carry it out to the left side. And going out of bounds, short of the first down.
Robert just getting out of bounds there. It's to me to a point where you're staying ahead of the chains. You know, Jay Gruden said on Friday, we have to be better on third down. And for me, that means that getting ahead of the chains, getting positive yards on first and second down, and coming up to these third and manageables, these 3rd and 4, 3rd and shorts, which I think Robert can complete passes and keep the chains moving.
Needs 4 yards here. Under pressure, not going to get away. And a loss. Clinton McDonald, and a loss of 6 yards. That's the 3rd sack of the season for the former Seahawk tackle.
When you see Clinton McDonald here, he just outworks everybody. He just push, gets past Chris Chester, gets up a little high on Robert Griffin, but brings him down. I mean, this is a guy who was part of that defensive line of the Seattle Seahawks last year, and we saw what they did to Peyton Manning in that Super Bowl. It was about push up front, push in the middle, and a guy who just outworks the offensive line for the sack.
Tress Way and Marcus Thigpen muffs it, loose ball, and the Redskins have it. And it's Darrell Young. And a big turnover here as Thigpen muffed the punt. And the Redskins deep in Buccaneer territory with a chance to get back in the game here early in the second. Now the officials are convening. Here is the fair catch call.
That to me is a muff punt. It touched his hands, and it was recovered by Darrell Young of the Washington Redskins. Regardless if he has the fair catch or not, his hand touched the football to me.
You have to make the catch.
Yes, and even on the rebound, he tried to catch it and touch it again. That to me is a muff punt.
The ruling on the field is a muff punt recovered by Washington. First down.
See, now if he called for a fair catch and he tried to run with it
Right.
and fumbled it, it wouldn't have counted. But this does.
He missed it on the first one, but even right there, that touch right there, that's a muff punt.
He never had possession. So the Buccaneers, with a turnover, they've had the advantage getting 2 takeaways to the tune of 10 points, but now they turn it over, and the Redskins with a first down on the Bucs 17. Looking to take advantage and get back in this game. Here's Deshaun Jackson with a juke move, and a flag is down, and Jackson is down at the 12. Picked up 5 pending the call.
After the reception, during the run, illegal block in the back, offense number 68. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So that's Tom Compton, the right tackle.
Those are some of those negative plays that Jay Gruden talked about. It's negative plays that when you're on the verge of getting to that red zone and getting a score, it's plays like that that back you out of the red zone. That's something that this Redskins team has had to deal with. Coming into the right of your screen right here, Compton, that's where you just let off. Your offensive lineman, hey, just let off, and you say the ability of Deshaun Jackson will make that guy miss. instead of having to penalize your team and get backed up.
So now they're out of the red zone. It'll be first down and 18 on the 25. And here's Morris trying to get some of it back and spins away and does a great job. Look at this play by Morris. He was trapped for a 6-yard loss. And finally, with a penalty down, we may have a face mask here. A 13-yard gain, Levante David making the play. And let's see whether the Bucs are guilty of the face mask after the play.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 54. After this is a goal, automatic first down.
You talk about heart, you talk about grit, determination. That's all of that in this run by Alfred Morris. Not one guy, two guys, get off of me. Alfred Morris, just the willingness to not go down. I will not go down. I will push you off me. I will keep going. Alfred Morris, we talked about it earlier, the struggles of the running game for the Washington Redskins. That right there is telling me, Coach, give me the football. I need it more in my hands.
13 yards plus 6 on the penalty half the distance, and it's first down and goal, and they go to Morris again, and Morris will pick up about a yard or so, maybe 2. Another penalty.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 68 was on the end of the line of scrimmage. There was not a receiver. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So that's another penalty on Tom Compton, the right tackle. Second penalty in this series.
Well, they say you take one step forward, but then you take 2 steps back. And that's been the Achilles heel for Washington Redskins, especially down here. It hurts more when it's in the red zone because you're trying to score, you're trying to get the touchdown, and it's just those simple plays, not lining up correctly, is what you do every week in practice. That's just a costly penalty at the unopportune time.
First and goal now at the 11. Remember, this team coming off the bye week, and Morris trapped, but he's been trapped before, and he gets down close to the 10-yard line, picking up 1 yard, and Michael Johnson. So the Buccaneers here trying to avoid a score by the Redskins off of one of their turnovers.
We mentioned Gerald McCoy, we mentioned Levante David, but I still think this is a better defense when number 90 is on the football field. When Michael Johnson is on the football field, to me, it's just a different defense. You have to know where he's at all times.
That's a hand injury which hampered him. Second and goals at the 10. Griffin can't find a receiver, backed up and down past the 20. And it was Gerald McCoy who loses the helmet as well. And Jacquez Smith putting pressure on. So the first receiver wasn't there. And let's see what Griffin did here against this pressure.
There's a clock going on in your head right here. I got 1 second, 2 seconds. I need to throw the football away. You don't take a sack down here in this where you're on the point of the football field. You go through your progression, it's not there, and throw the football away, save some yardage. This is what Robert Griffin III, he struggles at. Trying to turn a negative play into a positive. Sometimes you got to throw the football away.
And down he goes again, and it's going to be Smith. Jacquez Smith, the former Bill. And back-to-back sacks. This was a loss of 9. And now the Redskins will attempt a field goal, and this is an ugly defensive series for the offensive team, the Washington Redskins here, after getting a big break on the face mask call. This will be a 47-yard attempt by Kai Forbath. And this kick, no good, is pushed to the right. Wow.
Today's Game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads. By the new comedy Horrible Bosses 2 in theaters November 26th. And by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL.
And back here at FedEx Field, Robert Griffin III, sacked 3 times, has thrown 2 interceptions. And the Buccaneers have 10 points off of the 2 picks. And it's been a very rugged first half for Washington. Meanwhile, the Buccaneers with a first down on the 37. Here's McCown getting a pass rush, trying to escape, and does the right thing there, throws the ball away. And it'll be second down. Remember, the flag is down as well back, and we may have a holding call.
Holding. Offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
DeMar Dotson, right tackle, holding.
During a commercial, Jay Gruden getting on his offense. And as I'm looking at him, trying to read his list, but I know what he's doing. He's pointing at Robert Griffin and saying, look, we have to be better, fellas. We're situational football. We're killing ourselves. It's penalties. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's nothing that they're doing. It's more what we're doing. We're not executing. We got to get it done, and Robert's our guy.
They had the ball on the 17 of Tampa Bay. And that miss by Forback was his first in 12 attempts. First down and 20, Bobby Rainey. And he is stopped by Jason Hatcher. So it'll be second down and 20 on that 27-yard line. No gain on the play. Lovie Smith has been frustrated by penalties and turnovers by his team. They escaped that last turnover. McCown going up on top, and it's caught by Mike Evans. Evans trying to break away. He's got the size, and he carried Tracy Porter maybe 10 more yards after that catch. And it'll be first down for the Buccaneers at the Redskin 21, a pickup of 52.
A lot of people ask, why is Josh McCown starting? He's starting because he recognizes blitz. He recognizes 6 guys at the line of scrimmage. What does that mean? It means he's got one-on-one Mike Evans on Tracy Porter. If I'm playing quarterback, that's the matchup I want. You put it up to your big receiver and say, just out-jump that guy. Mike Evans does that, picks up a big play for Tampa Bay.
First Tampa Bay rookie receiver to have back-to-back 100-yard gains. He had 51 on that one. Here's Charles Sims, who ran well in the early going, gets to the 20-yard line for a gain of 2. Time for a game break. Here's Joel Clapp.
All right, Dick, we take you to Kansas City, where Jamal Charles is going to scamper for 16 yards. That's his second touchdown of the game, 7 in his last 5 games. The Chiefs up on the defending champs, 14-7. Back to Washington, Dick and Kirk.
That was a game we talked about, Dick, one of the Kansas City, Seattle, the battle of the West, AFC and NFC.
Kansas City looking very good as of late, very steady team. Second down and 8 with Rainey back in and running back. And this pass intended for Rainey, double covered in the end zone, incomplete. Anderson was the closest. They've got 2 young corners in Bashard Breeland and David Amerson that they like very much. And so the big matchup today coming into the game was the size of Evans and Jackson at 6'5" against those young corners.
Yeah, and Jim Haslett knows that he's going to have to play some man-to-man. He's got to play man-to-man on the outside because he's going to blitz guys to get pressure on Josh McCown to get the football out of his hands quickly. Josh is doing that, but he's also finding the wide-open receiver.
Third down and 8 from the 20. Evans going in motion, wide right. McCown throws it out of the end zone, and it was Evans, the intended receiver, and a whole bunch of burgundy jerseys were in the neighborhood. So it'll be fourth down, and Patrick Murray will come on to attempt a field goal. 32-yarder, accounted for the first score of the game for Tampa Bay. This will be a 38-yard try. Having a terrific year. Hasn't made that many and attempted that many, but he's 4 for 5 from 50 or beyond. This one is shorter, but the kick is good, and the Buccaneers add to their lead. 13-0 with 7:39 remaining in the second. Redskins trying to get it right on offense. It's been a rough day for their offensive unit. Andre Roberts to return the kick. Redskins were 1-4, then they won 2 in a row before the loss at Minnesota a couple of weeks ago. And here is Roberts with the return, and he gets it out past the 20. So Robert Griffin III, 6 of 10 for 49 yards and 2 picks, looking to improve on those numbers. We'll be back.
Today's game is sponsored by Pizza Hut. Find the best deals at pizzahut.com.
Back at FedEx Field, where the Buccaneers are getting the pass rush that they've been looking for all season long, and they've made some changes in their defensive 4. First down on the 23 for the Redskins. The pitch to Morris, and Morris picking up about 4 yards on the play. Akeem Spence is in the lineup now. Gerald McCoy on the sidelines, and Larry English for Michael Johnson at defensive end. And T.J. Fatikakun is in the game as Golston goes out.
One thing that when I talked to Levante David about this defense, I'm saying you guys want to create turnovers, but how do you do that? He told me it's tough because we want to make the big play, but not compromise the defense, meaning getting out of our lanes, getting out of our gaps. The big plays will come once you trust in the defense. Today, they're trusting in that defense, and the plays are coming through.
And they're using their depth, and here's the pitch to Morris off the left side. And a yard short of the first down, so we're seeing Fatikakun, English, and Spence using their defensive lineman. Daquan Bowers is inactive today, and Clinton McDonald making the tackle after a gain of 5, and we've also seen a contribution from Jacquez Smith of the former Bill. So they're using 8 defensive linemen already, and we still have 6:22 to go in the first half.
It's pressure with that front 4. It has to be. When you're playing the Tampa 2 defense that Lovie Smith preaches, it's the front 4. Can they generate pressure?
3rd and 1. And close to the first down is Morris. William Golston checking back in for the Bucs.
Looking at that spot, maybe a half a yard short.
They got it. Do have it. The spot.
Got a bad spot. Good spot for Washington. Bad spot for Tampa Bay. They may want to take a look at it.
So a 1-yard gain and a first down.
That's Lovie Smith trying to get, hey, can we take a look at that spot again? First down.
Now they're going to adjust the game clock.
Yeah, I looked at the far official. He came in.
I agree with you.
He signaled 4th down, and our near side official on the Redskins sideline signaled 1st down.
We're going to have a measurement, so we'll settle this thing. Remember, that's an unofficial line. It's not official there, and it is a first down.
Half football.
Yes. Well, Thursday night, Fox Sports 1 is the place to turn to for a Big 12 showdown as 13th ranked Kansas State takes on West Virginia. Coverage begins Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, Gerald McCoy is checked back into the game, as has Michael Johnson for Tampa Bay. It's a first down on the 33 for the Redskins. Griffin trapped, gets rid of it, and the pass is going to be ruled complete to Niles Paul. Paul makes the catch. Will be shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards.
That's very similar to the play we saw to start the football game. Right? Except this time, Paul catches the football. Robert Griffin III just extending plays. being able to show throwing on the run. Those are the type of plays that are high percentage. If you can get the ball down low, pick up positive yardage.
Telling numbers there, averaging nearly 6 yards a play. And there is the keeper by Griffin. And Griffin will slide in midfield and gets a roaring cheer from the crowd. Robert Griffin slides.
I'm applauding myself. We saw it earlier in the football game. Robert taking a dive head first. This time, putting pressure on the defense by running the read option and doing what I love to see quarterbacks do, get down and slide. Protect yourself. That right there not only protects Robert Griffin III, but it protects his team, protecting the team.
8-yard gain, and here he is again on the zone read, and the pass is caught by Niles Paul again. And Paul with a gain of about 5. President Butler making the play.
If you don't think the fans take notice, I mean, when he slid down, you heard the crowd gave off a raucous roar saying, thank you. This is what we want to see from our quarterback. Don't put yourself in harm's way. And Robert just said he understands that this is part of the process, the maturing process of the quarterback position for him.
2nd down and 5. Butler has been replaced by Brandon Dixon in the secondary. And on 2nd and 6, here's Roy Halou Jr. He's going to get the first down. And he gets inside the 25, 35-yard line, loses the ball. And fumble. And it's recovered by the Buccaneers. And it was Akeem Spence, the defensive lineman. And, of course, we're going to take a look, as they do on all turnovers, to see whether the runner was down before he lost the ball. Not so sure. And it was Smith who forced it. We'll be back. Here comes Bill Vinovich. The ruling on the field was that it was a fumble.
The ruling on the field stands. First down, Tampa Bay.
Mike Pereira, was it that close that they would say the ruling on the field would stand? How did you see it?
You know, and Dean Blandino sent out a tape to the media this week that said that they were not going to overturn anything unless it jumped out at you, unless you were absolutely positive that the call on the field was wrong. And in this case, the ball's coming out, it looks like just about at the same time that the knee hit. That's too close to overturn, and I think they're staying with their philosophy, which is good.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. So the 3rd turnover, and Charles Sims with the carry, getting to the 39-yard line, where Jenkins makes the tackle, picking up 3 yards. 3 turnovers by Jay Gruden's Redskins here in the first half.
If you're Tampa Bay, they come in bunches. You know, this is a team that was starving, hungry for turnovers. And now you look at that Buccaneers sideline. These guys are hungry for more. They want to get back out there. I've been in that situation before. You get one, now you want to get more.
Get greedy. -7 in the turnover ratio coming in. Redskins were -9 in that category. 2nd down and 7. McCown in rhythm, and see if he held on to the ball, Mike Evans, and he did. And a good out thrown by McCown, and a first down to the 43-yard line, picking up 17.
You're seeing Josh McCown getting rhythm. He's getting the protection that he needs up front from his offensive line. And when he's able to have that protection, you can see him trusting his wide receivers that they can pull down the catch no matter where he puts the football.
4 for 8 is McCown. And here is Charles Sims. And he'll lose a yard. 2 minutes remain in the first half here at FedEx Field. We'll be back in a moment. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. So 2 minutes remain in the first half. 13-0 the Bucs lead. 2nd and 10 on the Redskin 43. And movement on the right side of the line. False start against Damar Dotson, the right tackle.
False start. Offense number 69. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So make it 2nd and 15 and push back to the 48-yard line. And Josh McCown's numbers very conservative thus far. Sims has been the leading rusher with 29 yards. Only 33 yards rushing. It's been the defense that have gotten them in position for their scores. And here is McCown stepping up and goes underneath, and the pass caught by Sims. And Perry Riley Jr. right on him. So they'll mark the ball at the 44, 4-yard pickup.
This is the pressure that Josh McCown puts on you as a quarterback. He's in a 2-minute situation where you have to know your rush lanes if you're the Washington Redskins defense, because Josh McCown's able to step up, find a check down, give you positive yardage, brings up a long third down here.
We have not had a timeout called by either team in this first half. Third down and 11 from the 44. McCown, and his pass tipped away. Good play made downfield by Tracy Porter on the pass intended for Louis Murphy.
Tracy Porter just stand in the hip pocket, head around, turn around, get the hand up. That's an excellent job by a veteran cornerback, knowing that he's in phase. We talk about being in phase, meaning you're at arm's length away from the wide receiver. Does a good job of putting that hand up, knocking it down.
So Michael Kanan will be kicking, and Andre Roberts standing at the 10, and a flag thrown and a false start penalty against Tampa Bay coming up.
False start. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Not going to affect him too much on that penalty.
Give him a little extra room on this punt. Now you have a bigger window to work with as far as nailing that ball down inside the 20-yard line.
We're nearing a minute to go in the first half, and the Redskins will have all 3 of their timeouts left. This is Kanan's second punt of the game. Here's Roberts at the 14. And good coverage that time by Tampa Bay and Dane Fletcher. 13-0, 106. Let's see what the Redskins do with that much time left and all of their timeouts. Redskins will start from the 21 with 106 to go in the half and 3 timeouts. Griffin has thrown for 71 yards and has 2 interceptions. Morris has 48 yards rushing, averaging 4 yards a clip. And Deshaun Jackson, they went to him deep once, has 3 catches, averaging 9 yards a reception.
You got to get back to Deshaun Jackson. This is, to me right now, your offense. And Robert Griffin III, I feel like he has a safe haven with Deshaun Jackson. Just get him the football quick.
Tampa Bay's defense has been the story of this first half, and the handoff to Morris. Morris hit and dropped, and Gerald McCoy making his presence felt. McCoy, who has missed 1 game with a broken hand and has been hampered with a groin injury, is the anchor of this team's defense, and we saw why there. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. They go again to Morris up the middle. Different result. First down and more as Morris can't get out of bounds, I don't believe. Let's see what they rule here. Timeout is called by the Redskins. And
first charge timeout.
Halftime is coming up shortly, and the menu for halftime. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee to tell you what it's about.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime, we'll get you caught up on all 8 early games, including Who Dey versus Who Dat, as the Bengals take on the Saints. J.J. Watt with another can't-miss touchdown catch in Cleveland, and the Rams with yet another early lead, but this time over Peyton Manning and the Broncos. It's all coming your way on the Visa Halftime.
All right, Kurt, thank you very much. Interesting that they went almost to the same play, one getting 2 and the other one getting 19 yards up the middle.
One thing that Tampa Bay does is they like to get penetration. And when the penetration is there in the first play, they run it right back at him, catch him off guard, gets positive yards in a 2-minute drill.
First down on the 42 for the Redskins. Trying to get on the board, and they dumped it off to Morris. Morris jukes a man, had a first down and gets gets more. Alfred Morris, returning to the Alfred Morris style that we've known, gets 24 yards after the reception. 69 yards rushing on the day and 24 passing wise. And timeout with 25 seconds remaining in the half. Already near 100 yards from scrimmage for Morris. It'll be a first down. And Roy Halou Jr. comes in as Morris gets a breather. First down on the Bucs 34. Halou. And he is stopped in his tracks by Isaiah Fry. And the Redskins call a timeout. Well, tonight on Fox, Thanksgiving comes early to Sunday Fun Day. So go ahead and pick out with all new episodes of television's best comedies. It's guaranteed to leave you hungry for more. Sunday Fun Day starts tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Back-to-back plays for Robert Griffin III using his check down. And we talked with Robert. That's a hard thing for Robert to do. He's always looking down the field,
got results,
trying to find the big wide, the big play, trying to find Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon. But it's okay to hit the check down. 2 positive plays that, to me, have gotten him sort of in a rhythm now.
No question.
He looks different on this drive than he's looked in the beginning of the
This is
football
the
game.
best rhythm the Redskins have had, and he's been 6-6 since that tough start. Redskins still have 1 timeout remaining as one of their receivers went out of bounds. And there's Halou against the rush. Here is Halou to the 10-yard line. 5, touchdown! Corey Lichtensteiger, the center, with a big block there for Roy Halou Jr., who goes 30 yards after the catch as the Buccaneers sent everyone in on Robert Griffin III. And he responded, and look at the smile. We haven't seen that on the face of Jay Gruden in a while.
Yeah, it's a smile because he catches the penetration. Guys getting up the field, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on that last call. Robert Griffin III, make sure he holds the ball long enough to get it out to Halou.
Kai Forbath. And it's now 13-7 as the Redskins, and you said it, it was the best rhythmic offensive series they've had.
Well, in order for a screen pass to work, you need the quarterback to hold it as long as he can. Robert does that, takes a shot at the end, but he gets the ball off to Halou, and then Halou does the rest. Remember, he fumbled earlier on the same exact play on the other side of the field. This time they pay it off, give him the football, and you see an excited Robert Griffin III. That last drive, to me, has got him now in rhythm with his offense, and a lot of smiles now.
Well, you know, we're seeing him slide instead of stride for yards. We see him now, do things like, go to the check down back, which he doesn't always like to do.
One thing he said, he's still developing his belief. The relationship with quarterback and coach, Jay Gruden, Robert Griffin III, it's a process. This is only, remember, his 11th quarter of regular season football. So for each play, to see him get better and better, that's what Jay Gruden wants to see, his quarterback improve.
Looking for his first win as a quarterback since the 9th week of 2013. And keep in mind, he's played in only 7 games since. So they did it in a hurry. The Redskins, in less than a minute, go 5 yards, 5 plays, 79 yards for the touchdown. And it's picked up by lineman for the Bucs, who gets it out to the 31 with 6 seconds remaining in the half. And want to remind you, coming up, it's the Visa halftime report with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. So the Redskins, with an explosion of their own in their final possession of the first half, after turnovers on offense cost them.
And you just see the confidence now. You know, that sideline seemed to be dead, middle of the second quarter. But that's what one score can do. Everybody now up on their feet, excited to get ready to take on the second half.
And keep in mind, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who won the toss and deferred, will get the ball first in the third quarter. So halftime with the score 13-7. Bucs over the Redskins. And we'll be back after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. All right, Kurt, thank you very much. We guarantee you we're going to be here till whenever it ends. 13-7, as you said, and today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. And yes, the Buccaneers defense, as the studio's been talking about, against Robert Griffin III, a big factor there. So it's 13-7. Redskins get back in the game. So, Kurt, what do you see in the second half? What do you foresee?
Well, when I look at the Redskins, you have to build off that last drive going into halftime. Your quarterback, he slid. He threw 2 checkdowns. He kept the offense going. He matured as the second half went on. You look at the Tampa Bay, keep feeding off the defense. The defense creating turnovers, but also having to finish. This half, it's all about finishing for Tampa Bay, something they have not done all season long.
And that's a very big point, and I'm sure that Lovie Smith told his team exactly that. They've had leads in 5 of their games into the fourth quarter and have lost those games. Their only win was against the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. Can they win another road game today? Forbat gets the second half underway. Marcus Thigpen, who lost the ball on a muff, and Thigpen, or make that Leonard Johnson turning the corner, and a flag is down. So good return that time to the up man, who made the most of it and got 30 yards. Here's Bill Vinovich.
Holding. Receiving team number 50. 10-yard penalty. Tampa keeps the ball. First down.
Well, gain Fletcher, and that'll nullify a lot of that 30-yard gain. Let's check in with Christina Pink.
Defense has been locked in. 3 sacks, 3 turnovers. Talked to coach at halftime and told me the defense has played well except for a busted coverage at the end of that first half. He's optimistic this team can finish this one out. Said we get the ball back here to start the second half. Also talked to Jay Gruden, who told me RG3 needs to make quicker decisions. They have to protect him better and stay out of 3rd and longs.
All right, Christina, thank you. It'll be a first down on the 15 following that penalty, and the pass caught. And just shy of the first down is Vincent Jackson. 9-yard gain. So McCown, who regained the starting job. He started the first 3 games and active the next 3 for the Bucs. Active but didn't play in 2 games. There you see play selection, half and half. He is 6 for 11 for 105 yards in this game. 2nd and 1. Going to throw it on 2nd and 1. Incomplete. Murphy, the intended receiver, and does a header over the back of the Redskins bench.
That's probably, I think, the 2nd or 3rd pass we've seen to Murphy. When I'm looking at this Tampa Bay offense, what sticks out at you? To me, it has to be Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson. And between these guys, I think not enough balls being thrown their way. If you're Josh McCown, you went in at halftime and say, look, guys, just be patient. I'm coming to you. I will get the ball to you. Just be patient.
Only had 33 yards rushing in the first half. Last week, McCown was their leading rusher, the quarterback, at 39 yards. And they're going to try and run it here with Charles Sims. And Sims will have the first down. Sims becoming the chief ball carrier in this game. Picks up 2 yards. Longest rush was 12. And we have a Redskin shaken up. And it's Chris Baker, the nose tackle. Barry Cofield is active. He had Cofield's position. We may be seeing number 96 come in.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Ford. Beautiful things happen when you go further. By Burger King. Mix and match 2 large premium sandwiches for just $5 only at Burger King. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Chris Baker, who has played well for Cofield at nose tackle, out of the game. And here is Charles Sims with the run, cutting to the outside, and wrestled down nicely by David Amerson, and a 4-yard pickup. And it's interesting, once again, you talk about the Redskins defense better than the numbers indicate. And of course, they had to play on a short field, and we haven't seen a real long drive at all today by the Bucs.
No, not at all. And I'm looking at this Buccaneers offense, and you're starting the receivers. They're starting to look over at Josh McCown and say, give me the football. And I'm looking at Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson because they feel they have the advantage on the outside against these Redskins corners, Amerson and Breland. 43
yards was the longest drive that they've had. 2nd down and 6 from the 30. McCown stepping in there, and it's caught by Sims and hit immediately by Keenan Robinson. Maybe the best defensive performer is this Keenan Robinson. Really one to watch. And as you see the first 5 possessions for the Buccaneers, you never know that they were in the lead, would you?
Yeah, you would never know. Could you see field goal, punt, then halftime? Everything that they've got today has been a benefactor of their defense. It is something that Jim Haslett and his defense of the Washington Redskins putting the pressure, being in bad situations and coming away with just giving up just field goals.
Well, it's a nail biter for Jim Haslett, as we saw. 3rd down and 4. McCown getting hit as he lets go, and the pass incomplete. Evans, the intended receiver, but Riley Jr. was all over him, Perry Riley Jr. But one time, the Redskins were able to get close to McCown.
This is something that Jim Haslett preached to us on Friday. He told us, I want to get more from a 4-man rush. I don't always want to have to pressure, put 5, 6 guys up on the line of scrimmage. If I can get pressure from my front 4, I can relieve some of the stress on our corners and safeties by dropping extra linebackers into coverage.
Andre Roberts, the return man, backing up. Good kick that time by Kanan. Muffs it, picks it up, and is down at the 21-yard line. 48-yard punt by Kanan, who's been under a little pressure because of his punting woes as of late. 13-7, Tampa Bay leads. Redskin ball when we come back. Well, since his 2nd interception, Robert Griffin III is 9 for 9 for 107 yards and a touchdown. So he's turned around the game. Question is, can he continue it? Touchdown drive on the last possession of the first half. Here's Alfred Morris, and Morris picking up about 3.5 yards.
Well, Alfred Morris, I can tell you this, he's missed Robert Griffin III as his quarterback because Robert Griffin puts pressure on a defense as far as the read option. So what does that mean? Extra guys in the box. But when Robert has been out of the game, everybody's keyed in on who? Alfred Morris. When Robert comes back now, you have to regard where is Robert Griffin III, and the benefactor of that is Alfred Morris because people are putting eyes on Robert and not so many eyes as before on Alfred Morris, who's getting the big game
today. No question about it. 96 yards total, and there is the rollout and the pass caught by Jordan Reed. He has a first down and goes out of bounds. So Jordan Reed, who was injured in week 1 and missed the next 4, had 21 catches in the last 4 games coming into this one, and that was the 2nd of the game, and it got him 10 yards.
It's the run-pass option here. You fake the run. That's when you know the run is going good, where you can fake it to Alfred Morris and have Jordan Reed hit him on the run. And this is where Robert Griffin III, I think he excels at these passes, short perimeter, high percentage passes.
So a first down on the 35. Deshaun Jackson is split to the lower part of your picture. And here is Griffin. He's going to take off and will go out of bounds. And he'll get about 6 yards on the play.
And the more I watch Robert in this offense, he just seems to keep growing. Remember, he has not been out there the whole season. Now this is quarter 12 in this offense under Jay Gruden. And what is he showing me now? That he's able to get out of bounds, creating plays, extending plays, getting out of bounds, and making sure he can seed 2nd down and stop trying to make the big play if it's not there.
2nd down and 4. Morris. And it appears he'll have enough for the first down. It looked like he had enough for it and will. Gain of 5. Time for a game break. Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, we go to New Orleans, where you remember last week Andy Dalton posted a 2 passer rating. I mean, Kirk, you get more points than that on the ACT for filling your name out right, and they're up 20-3 against the Saints. Go figure.
It's good Andy or bad Andy? We're seeing good Andy today, Andy Dalton.
We've seen the bad, but we know we see more of the good. Looking for the long pass, and here is the version of the check down to Niles Paul, the tight end. And the pass is incomplete, but there was pressure that time by Clinton McDonald. Griffin had completed 10 straight passes before that incomplete pass. Second down and 10 at the 46. Ballou scoring the touchdown on the screen pass. Second and 10. And here is Morris. This time Morris can't find any running room. And English and David, no gain on the play. Let's check down with Christina Pink.
Couple of updates for you on the injury front, Dick. We saw Chris Baker, nose tackle for Washington, come off the field on that last defensive drive. He is questionable with a chest bruise. Also, left tackle Trent Williams was officially ruled out with a knee and ankle sprain, so they will not have him for the rest of the game on that offensive line.
All right, Christina, and Morgan Moses had gone in to replace him, the rookie from Virginia. Roy Halou Jr. is in there now. He has scored the lone touchdown for the Redskins. It'll be third down and 10, and a flag goes down. No indication of a false start. Could be a defensive penalty up front.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And that's one thing that Lovie Smith was saying last week, that Gerald McCoy, who was offsides twice, is saying our best player on our football team. And I say Gerald McCoy is the best player on this Buccaneers team. He can't jump off sides. He did that twice last week, and now another offsides penalty this week.
So that'll make it third down and 5 in Buccaneer territory at the 49.
A lot of guys at the line of scrimmage.
Here comes the pressure. Stepping up and going deep and overthrowing Deshaun Jackson again. And a flag is down. Penalty marker down where the quarterback let go of the ball.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 92. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And that's on William Golston. So instead of fourth down, it'll be an automatic first down.
You see this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's almost 7 guys at the line of scrimmage. Robert Griffin III, this is a pass where he recognizes man-to-man, and he has to complete this pass to Deshaun Jackson. That's twice now. He's had Deshaun Jackson beat a cornerback wide open. That's a play that he has to complete. That's points right there for Robert Griffin III to Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, but it's going to give the Redskins new life because it's a defensive penalty against Tampa Bay, and that's been really a major problem for them. And a first down on the 34. And here is Morris. No gain on the play, thanks to Major Wright, the strong safety, and the former Chicago Bear who moved into that position after Mark Barron was traded to the St. Louis Rams for a couple of draft picks for next year.
I think it's been an adjustment for Deshaun Jackson with this offense, because he was used to, in Philadelphia, getting at least 2 or 3 shots a game, almost per half down the field. This time, 2 wide open shots this game alone. And Robert Griffin, the only quarterback I think that can outthrow a Deshaun Jackson.
Second down and 10. Griffin. Jump pass, and holding on to it is Deshaun Jackson, and he's shaken up. Jackson is shaken up at the 28-yard line after the hit by Brandon Dixon, 8 yards. And he gets up, and apparently he's all right. At least we hope so.
I think sometimes you jump up and down and shake it out a little bit to make sure you're okay.
You probably delivered some of those hits when you played for the Raiders. Roy Halou is now the setback on third down and 2 on the Buck 26. Redskins are in field goal range, and they're trailing by 6. Griffin, And down he goes. The 4th sack of the game by the Bucs, and that's Michael Johnson with his 3rd of the year. And it was Jacquez Smith who penetrated to allow Johnson to bring down Griffin.
This is what pressure does to a quarterback. You are not able to see the wide open wide receiver. Nobody covers Deshaun Jackson. He's wide open right there, right down the seam, and nobody's there. You even had Pierre Garçon open late, but that's what pressure does to you. It gets to the quarterback. He's not able to see downfield. That's another scoring opportunity the Redskins miss out on.
Loss of 6, so now a 50-yard field goal attempt by Kai Forbath. And Forbath's kick is no good, off to the right. So after 11 straight field goals, coming into this game, he missed from 47, and now he misses from 50, and it remains Bucs 13, Redskins 7.
Today's game is sponsored by Exodus, Gods and Kings, December 12th, only in theaters.
So after a missed field goal, the Bucs survive that. They have the ball on their 40. They have 4 sacks in the game. The most they've had in one contest was 5 at Pittsburgh. And coincidentally, that was the only game they have won coming into this one. First down on the 40. Good field position. Bobby Rainey. Not much. Well, Week 11 continues later today on Fox, and for some of you on CBS. Then tonight, it's Sunday Night Football on NBC, and tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN.
This Buccaneers team, I'm still waiting for them to put that drive together. Something manufactured by the offense. Everything that they've got today has been something that the defense has set them up with. A big drive by Tampa. They need to set something up here.
They scored 17 or fewer in 4 of their straight losses. They dropped 5 in a row, and this one is complete to Brandon Myers, and the tight end getting into Redskin territory and gets it to the 37-yard line. Brandon Myers, the former Giant, picking up 22 yards. So this may be part of the one drive that they have not been able to make in this game offensively.
The one thing Josh McCown told me right before the game is that he's still learning the offensive coordinator, Marcus Arroyo. You know, because it was Jeff Tedford to start the season, and then Arroyo took over for Tedford, and it's something that Josh has said, I'm still learning the offense. I'm learning the coordinator, and each game he's getting better and better.
It's quite an adjustment to make. And the give is to Rainey. And Rainey getting to the 37. Jeff Tedford, because of health reasons, could not continue as the offensive coordinator, and Marcus Arroyo, the quarterback's coach. When this happens just on the eve of the season and when the season starts, you know, you don't have a lot of time to, you know, to get things worked out.
Yeah, and the same thing is that, look, we're gaining ground, but then he had the thumb injury, and Mike Glennon comes in. And so now you're not only switching offensive coordinators, you're switching to the backup quarterback. It's just been an offense that's still trying to gain its way now with Josh McCown back.
2nd and 8 on the 35. And Charles Sims has been the leading rusher for the Bucs today, but this is going to be a pass. And here's Evans in the end zone for the touchdown. Mike Evans, who has more size than speed, but got beyond the secondary and beat Bashaud Breeland, the rookie from Clemson, as well as Ryan Clark, the veteran free safety. And Evans continues to shine, one of the top rookie wide receivers in the NFL this year. 36-yard play. And the best drive, obviously, for the Bucs in this game. 6 touchdowns in the last 6 games for Evans. And his 3rd consecutive 100-yard receiving game. First Bucs rookie to have 3 in a row. Patrick Murray looking to add the 20th point. And with 4:36 to go in the 3rd quarter, it's 20-7. He just beat everybody. Picture play by the Bucs.
Bashaud Breeland, the corner here. He's going to try to reroute Mike Evans to get Mike Evans outside. But when Mike Evans goes outside, it's a double team. He needs Ryan Clark to get here. and Ryan Clark doesn't get over the top. And Mike Evans blows right by him for a touchdown. Blows by Ryan Clark. Should have been over the top to make sure that touchdown did not happen.
Andre Roberts running it out from the end zone with a head of steam, trips up and gets close to the 25-yard line. 4 plays, 60-yard drive. And Robert Griffin coming back onto the field again. His team down a little bit more now. Mike Evans distinguishing himself in this game as Alfred Morris gets 4 yards. Well, in honor of Veterans Day, for every point scored during the NFL's 32 Salute to Service games, the league will donate $100 to each of its nonprofit partners, the Pat Tillman Foundation, USO, and the Wounded Warrior Project. To join the salute and learn more, visit NFL.com/salute. And Redskins quarterback Robert Griffin III's parents, Robert and Jacqueline, were both sergeants in the Army. Gets this point pass off, but it's incomplete, intended for Morris. Consider this, the Buccaneers, 201 total yards in this game, and Mike Evans has accounted for 105 of them.
Yeah, Mike Evans, the big play wide receiver. You know, I asked him, I said, who do you model your game at? Or who was the guy you watched growing up? And he said Randy Moss. He loved Randy Moss as a wide receiver because of the explosiveness and his jumping ability, something that he patented his game after.
3rd and 5, Roy Halou in the backfield. Griffin gets rid of it and completes the pass to Roberts. And that'll be a first down for the Redskins. He picked up 13.
And Robert Griffin III just surveying the field, sidestep, keeps his eyes downfield. That's the key. When you're a quarterback and you're dancing back there inside that pocket, keeping the eyes downfield and finding a receiver. Roberts, that time with a big catch.
First catch of the game for the former Cardinal. And a first down at the 43. Morris back in. Play action. And Griffin goes behind to Deshaun Jackson. And Jackson pushed out of bounds by Danny Lansana, who has an interception in this game earlier. And with all of that, a gain of 2 for Washington.
There was a lot happening on one play. I think Deshaun Jackson lines up to the right of the formation, comes all the way back around. But you look at this Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, playing fundamentally sound. You know, we kept asking this team, how do you create the turnovers? And they told us, look, we just have to play our defense. It'll come to us. And today, playing very disciplined has gotten them those turnovers early on and gotten them some big plays to set up their offense.
And you wonder when that's going to happen. You're 1-8. You want to be patient, but it's got its limits. 2nd and 8. And Griffin throws it away. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 8. That time it was both William Golston and Gerald McCoy coming around trying to catch the Redskin quarterback, who is now 15 of 22, 160 yards. He's thrown a touchdown pass, 2 picks.
Well, it's just Deshaun Jackson. He knows he has the advantage every single play. And you can see a frustrated wide receiver wanting the football, knowing that these cornerbacks of Tampa Bay, especially Preston Butler, Jonathan Banks, they can't cover Deshaun Jackson.
How could he have gotten it, though, when he was rolling out to his right and he was on the left side of the field? 3rd down and 8. False start.
Offense number 85.
And Leonard
5-yard
Hankerson,
penalty. Still 3rd down.
who has been activated and was on the physically unable to perform list, but available to come back after ACL surgery, seeing his first action. And so he'll come out of the game. And so instead of 3rd and 8, it is now 3rd and 13.
It's unacceptable for a guy, his first game back. You know he's anxious. He's got the nerves, but got to stay on. You're the wide receiver. Stay on sides.
So Deshaun Jackson checks back in. Ball at the 40 of the Redskins.
Showing blitz again. Showing blitz.
Trying to get away. And not much he could do. Good pressure there by McCoy. And I think The receivers were covered pretty well downfield as well, although the fans not pleased with the fact that the Redskins have to kick it away down 20-7.
You see Tampa Bay, they're showing 6 guys at the line of scrimmage trying to get that count messed up for the offensive line, making the offensive line read all-out pressure, but they're not getting it. They're getting 4-man rush, and they're unable to stop Gerald McCoy.
Tress Way kicking, thick pin. And it goes into the end zone for a touchback, and there's a penalty flag thrown. You wouldn't figure there was an illegal block in the back in a play like that. Here's what it is.
There's no foul on the play. The block in the back was by the kicking team, and the ball had already hit the ground.
I mean, there wasn't a return, and so you don't know where that was coming from. Well, on Wednesday, Fox College Hoops is back on Fox Sports 1 with a great early season matchup between Creighton and 19th ranked Oklahoma. Coverage begins at 8 p.m. Eastern only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Bill Raftery.
Bill Raftery.
I missed that voice. Yep. It's basketball, college basketball.
Well, he's got some phrases, you know, that he has made famous over the years. And he is our top guy, so the college basketball season getting underway on Fox Sports 1. Meanwhile, it'll be a first down for Josh McCown and Tampa Bay with 1:55 to go in this third quarter. Charles Sims, who has seen the most action of any running back today. Doug Martin unable to play. Rainey started. And here's Sims, and he's going to be dragged down by Keenan Robinson. Boy, you got to love Keenan Robinson. They've got some really good young linebackers like Robinson, Trent Murphy, among others, and we know about Ryan Kerrigan. Time for a game break. Here's Joel Klatt.
All right, Dick, we go out to Kansas City and Seattle on the move back in this ball game. Tony Moeaki, 1-yard TD score, his first of the season, first since 2012, and it's a 3-point game in Arrowhead. Dick and Kirk.
What a great matchup that is, huh?
Moeaki, the former Kansas City Chief, back in Kansas City, catching a touchdown.
Played at Iowa. Second down and 14. Ball on the 16, and now
play a game.
Offense over 12.
So second down and 19.
Still second down.
Well, this is an opportunity here for the Redskin defense, if for nothing else, to get to decent field position.
You talk about big shoes to fill. Renee Blunden-Fletcher, longtime linebacker in the NFL. That's what Keenan Robinson has to do. He's filling the shoes of Blunden-Fletcher and doing a good job at it, being one of the best defensive players on this Washington Redskins defense.
Second down from the 11-yard line. And the quick toss. Evans has it, and he'll go down. Didn't get much after the catch, as Tracy Porter was right there on the play, a gain of 6. So it'll be third down and 13. So this would be a big stop for the Redskins, down 20-7.
You can feel the energy in this place as this defense has been holding on all game long. They've been forcing some punts from this Tampa Bay offense, but no bigger third down in here, trying to get field position for their offense.
Third and 13. McCown drills it, and Evans makes the catch. Mike Evans in midfield, and Breland was right there, but they got 34 yards as the quarter comes to an end. And what a game for Mike Evans. Terrific play throughout the game. And Fox NFL Sunday will return after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. It's a career high, and of course, as a rookie, his best performance of the season catches of 51, 36 for a touchdown, and you just saw the 34-yard play. And by the way, the 51-yarder was the longest pass from scrimmage this year for the Buccaneers.
When I asked Lovie Smith, I said, tell me about Mike Evans. And you almost see how emotional he got. He said, Kirk, I mean, Mike's just grown so much this season in our eyes. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better pickup from our first-round draft choice.
First down on the 49, and the pitch to Charles Sims. And Sims gets a few before he gets hit hard by Perry Riley Jr. out of bounds. So the big story coming in as a flag goes down would be, how would those tall receivers do against the Redskins?
Face mask, offense number 69. 15-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And that just blunts everything the Buccaneers are trying to do as the face mask penalty called against DeMar Dotson.
Well, you talk about the young buck here is what they call him, Mike Evans. And he knows he's a mismatch nightmare for whoever's trying to guard him. There he's being double teamed, scores a touchdown. Then he knows Rashad Breeland, I think the best corner on this Redskins defense, just beats him down the middle of the field. Josh McCown said it. When you look at Mike Evans, the catch radius is something that you just you don't see it too often on a receiver that big and that athletic.
No, you don't. First down and 25 on the Bucs 36. Evans goes to the top of your picture. And the pass is out to Evans. He breaks the tackle and goes out of bounds. Emerson coverage on the play, but 9 penalties have been called against the Buccaneers. And so while the turnovers factor has been in Lovie Smith's column, which he's pleased about, not so the penalties, which has done this team in. Remember, they have had the lead in 5 games this year in the fourth quarter and have not been able to hold on for victory. 5 of them have been on defense, 4 on the offensive unit. Second down and 16. And McCown going deep for Evans. He's done it, and he scores. Mike Evans maybe having a career game in his rookie year. And what a mismatch downfield with the linebacker, Perry Riley Jr. trying to cover him. 56 yards. McCown to Evans. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lead it now 26-7.
Second down, 16. Josh McCown just scanning the football field, trying to find a matchup to throw the football, and he sees a linebacker on Mike Evans. I don't have to be a rocket scientist to tell you where I'm throwing the football. I'm throwing it to Mike Evans, who is having a career day. He said he was going to have a career day, but even gave me a little Randy Moss at the end of the touchdown. Let everybody know this is his coming out party. We've already seen him excel so far this year.
He likes the style with it, and here's Patrick Murray to make it 27-7. So Evans with 7 catches, 209 yards. He's averaging 30 yards a catch, 2 touchdowns.
This game is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new way to Taco Bell is here, only in the app.
So there's Perry Riley Jr., and he is really upset having to cover really a tremendous rookie wide receiver that we'll be hearing about.
Definitely. I mean, you have to be upset in a situation where, like a coach would say, know your ability and the man across from you's ability, and that right there is a mismatch. Perry Riley and Mike Evans.
Andre Roberts brings it back to the 20.
I mean, you watch this play. I think Trent Murphy should get a bang here. Bang him a little bit. Don't give Mike Evans free access right down the middle of the field. And that, to me, is just a mismatch. You see Josh McCown let that ball fly. Perry Riley not able to keep up with Mike Evans. And I like this right here after the end of the play. Randy Moss-esque, telling the quieting the crowd and opening the window.
What a game for Evans. 7 catches, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns. Griffin going underneath to Morris. He'll get the first down as he dives past the 30-yard line. So now it's 27-20, an 11-yard pickup here. And that 56-yard pass play, by the way, is the longest play from scrimmage by the Bucs this year. The 51-yarder earlier was the longest pass play. Jaworski Lane, the fullback, had exploded for a touchdown for 54 yards. In fact, he didn't make the touchdown, but he got the most yards that they had. And Griffin goes down, can't find anyone. And that is the 5th sack of the game for the Bucs, which matches the most they've had. They had 5 against the Steelers. Patinikin and McCoy combined that time.
When you're playing Robert Griffin III, one thing is, as a defense, you have to preach. Let's make him one-dimensional. And right now, you're making Robert Griffin III one-dimensional. There is no threat of run here. He's got to pass the football in order to get his football team back in the game. So if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're only rushing 4 and keeping your guys in coverage. All eyes on Robert Griffin.
Second down and 13 from the 27. Incomplete to Deshaun Jackson. And frustration ensues here for the Redskins offense.
That right there is just lack of concentration by Robert. I mean, that's a play that's a gimme play, meaning that this is what you do in practice every single day. But to me, that's just a lazy throw that hits the ground. If you're a wide receiver, you can't do anything with that. His feet just all out of whack, and he knows he missed an opportunity that could set his team up for a better third down percentage than being backed up +10.
Third down and 13. Going underneath to Halou. Couldn't get away from the defender to get enough of the first down. Levante David and then Leonard Johnson combined to make the play. So it is 4th down. And the Redskins, who are trailing 27-7, even though early in the 4th quarter, going for it on 4th and 4.
Gutsy call here by Jay Gruden. I mean, trying to get points right here.
Look like they're going to send a few, doesn't it? Now they back off. They back off to cover downfield, and he's going to run with it, and he's going to get the first down. So a smart play that time by Robert Griffin, who saw the Bucs go into pass coverage and instead ran 8 yards and gets the first down to the 45.
He gets the first down, but I still would want to see him slide in that position. But he keeps the chains moving, keeps this drive alive. The Washington Redskins need points here, and you can see points any way that you can.
Playing more hurry up at this instant, even with 11.5 to go. Pressure, and down he goes, and that's going to be the 6th sack of the game. The most the Bucs have had in any contest, and Jacquez Smith gets credit for that one. Not a huge loss on the play.
But Dick, I've been in these situations before where I know this is something that there's no run threat. Where's the run threat? So if you know there's no run threat, I'm a defensive lineman. I'm thinking of my moves inside my head. So when the ball snapped, I'm already into my move, and I pass the offensive lineman.
And a false start now on the Redskins. And in a way, unraveling on offense.
False start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty.
And that's on Sean Laval, the left guard. So this offense is unraveling. And they did early in the game when the Buccaneers got a couple of turnovers to account for 10 points. One was a pick 6. And you wonder what's going through the mind there of Jay Gruden, who's seen his team under siege today against a 1-8 club coming in. You're home against a 1-8 Buccaneer team. And you're down by 20. Screen out to Halou. And William Golston doesn't let go.
That's the 3rd time we've seen that actual screenplay. The first time it was a fumble by Halou. Second time was the touchdown. And now this time, when you give me the same play, 3rd time in the game, I'm going to be all over it. This Tampa Bay defense is playing well right now in the 4th quarter, something they haven't done pretty much all season long.
Sean Laval shaken up. And Josh Laribas will replace him. This has been a day in which the Tampa Bay defense has been outstanding, and they had Mike Evans for that. Well, these are the 5 games that the Buccaneers had leads. Biggest one was 11 against the Saints. They lost that one in overtime that they could not hold on and win. And I asked you at the beginning of the game, what must they do to finish finally? And they're doing all the right things and trying their best to stay out of the penalty.
Cut down penalties, cut down turnovers, and finish. That's just been the theme of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers football team.
3rd and 24, and open underneath. Losing the ball is Hillou. But recovered the fumble. So it's 4th down. And Griffin now 19 of 27, 185 yards, a TD and a pick. Goes out in the punting situation. Tress Way will kick it. And back deep is Marcus Thigpen, who signed late in October. He's on the practice squad, then activated, the former Miami Dolphin. And he too will let that bounce and goes out of bounds at the neighborhood of the 20-yard line. 9:28 to go, 27-7. Mike Evans, big play man, averaging 30 yards a catch, and he's caught 7, 2 for touchdowns.
This game is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
Washington Monument, and what a place to be. The 4th annual NFL Salute to Service Military Appreciation Campaign tied to Veterans Day last Monday, both weeks. This is the place to be for all of this. First down on the 22 for the Buccaneers, and here's Charles Sims, and Sims will be knocked back for a loss of 1.5 yards by Ryan Clark and Keenan Robinson.
I know we're going to get a heavy dose of Charles Sims, but you look at Mike Evans, the day that he's having. I mean, we talked to him on Friday, and when you talk to him, you just sense the confidence that he's playing with. And I mean, you asked him the question, hey, Mike, what was your, coming to the NFL moment? He said, look, just being out there, I knew in my first game I could get it done.
Guys like that who say that usually become stars. 2nd down and 11. Turning the other way was Sims. Didn't see it coming. Incomplete. By the way, the Bucs record for most receiving yards in a game is 216 by Vincent Jackson against the Saints 2 years ago. Evans is 7 yards away from that.
And you talked about Vincent Jackson, and Mike Evans said, I can't thank Vincent Jackson enough for teaching me how to be a professional. You need a wide receiver, an older guy, to show you how to get it done, but it's been sort of like a coach, and that's what Vincent Jackson means to Mike Evans on this football team. 3rd
down and 11. And he swing pass to Sims, and he'll be tackled by Perry Riley Jr., and a flag goes down. He's well short of the 1st down.
I thought I saw a face mask in there at the end.
We've had a couple of those today,
yeah.
Kirk.
Personal foul, face mask.
You're right.
Defense number 56. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
So Perry Riley Jr. and a 1st down. Coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week with 2 great games. Eagles take on the Packers, or the Lions take on the Cardinals in a matchup of first-place teams. America's Game of the Week next here on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Well, we know that Stafford and Rodgers, we've seen them before, but Stanton and Sanchez, they're in the mix in this doubleheader coming up, or both big games on America's Game of the Week.
Huge games coming up.
Sims to run. And so after the 1st down on the face mask, gain of about 4 yards.
I had to circle that Aaron Rodgers. He's 5-1 since the relax. That's the theme of the Green Bay Packers season right now. Ever since the relax, unbelievable performance by Aaron Rodgers and that football team.
Boy, and he really has avoided throwing picks, hasn't he?
Yes.
What you want a quarterback to do, you want, number 1, avoid the big mistakes. Then do all the other things.
That's one thing we're seeing from this Tampa Bay offense as well today. Avoiding the mistakes as far as turnovers.
He turned it over once, that's all. 2nd down and 6. And this pass is caught by Jackson. Vincent Jackson with the reception. That's his 18-yard pickup, his 3rd of the game. So how about this? The Buccaneers have 324 total yards, 209 from one man. Mike Evans, the rookie receiver, who has caught 7 of them.
Kind of the guy that we kind of forget about is Austin Safarian-Jenkins, the tight end, up here at the top of the screen right here. He's kind of forgotten today because of the big day by Mike Evans.
Only one football, they say. And here is McCown, nowhere to go, slides and avoids getting hit. Will take a loss. Kurt Menefee with a game break. Kurt.
Well, it's rookie receiver day, I guess. Cam Newton and the Panthers were down 16-3 to start the fourth quarter to Atlanta, but he hooks up with Philly Brown for a 47-yard score, and the rookie out of Ohio State puts Carolina on top. Dick and Kurt.
You know, Kurt, the Buccaneers, despite 1-8, were amazingly only 3 games behind the division leaders. Hadn't had any indication they were going to mount anything, but this could be the start of something for them if they hold their lead. Here's Charles Sims, and all the Bucs want to do is eat up clock with some smart short passes and some runs. 2-yard gain there.
I think Lovie Smith just preaching to his guys, and they're telling us, and I'm looking them in the eye, and they're saying, look, we're 3 games out of first place. Regardless if you look at our record at 1-8, we're 3 games back. And you look at right now New Orleans down against Cincinnati, you're saying you win this football game, we're possibly 2 back in this division. So you don't know what can happen the rest of the season, but right now continue to play, continue to finish, and we're seeing a different fourth quarter Buccaneers team.
Well, Lovie Smith says I'm going to keep plugging, and that's what he's done. He hasn't wavered. 3rd down and 10. McCown going to run with it and either go out of bounds or slide. Little of both. Stayed in bounds, actually, and a flag down. And one of the players has a helmet off as well. Ryan Kerrigan.
Illegal use of hands. Hands in the face. Offense number 70. 10-yard penalty. Beat 3rd down.
Well, Lovie Smith like to exhale and breathe easy. He's 5-11 in his first year as Bears head coach. Turned it around to 11-5 before going to the Super Bowl in 06, and the key was the turnovers.
Yeah, I think he's telling people in Tampa to relax as well, because you look at the record at 1-8, but you know, Lovie started slow, and you can see he picked it up in year 2 and year 3 down in Chicago, because it's implementing the system and getting guys to understand it, have faith in it, and believe in it, and you see it will pay off. We're seeing big dividends today.
Chill out.
3rd and 20. McCown, and he is tackled by Keenan Robinson. And now, to prevent tempers from really flaring, the officials have done just that. Going to be a real frustrating game for the Redskins, and you've been in this situation before, I'm sure, as a player.
I think it's frustrating, especially on defense, because they played well in spurts today. Defensively, the Redskins have, but you just see the big play. I mean, the big plays to Mike Evans have really changed this game. You look at the first half, and they've had to deal with short fields and things of that nature. And you look at Mike Evans going down the field. That's the tough part, where you look over at that sideline and say, we're better than this.
First charge, timeout.
Well, timeout Tampa Bay. You said we have not seen Tampa Bay, you know, with an impressive drive in this game offensively. They got their points because of the defensive play, the turnovers. They had that 10-point lead, you know, early, eventually 13. But then in the second half, for the first time, we really saw that offense move. Evans was the key, but they gave McCown enough time to get it to their big rookie wide receiver.
Well, I saw the start of the second half, and the first thing I kept saying was, I can tell you, Josh McCown was in at halftime telling his wide receivers, just relax, guys. I'm coming to you. Just give me a second. And next thing you know, you see Mike Evans and Vincent Jackson, these guys just going down the field, because I did not think that these corners for Washington can keep up.
Did he spell it R-E-L-A-X?
Oh,
said relax?
He might have said C-H-I-L-L. Chill.
And the Bucs down it inside the 5-yard line. And that's where the Redskins will take over. No tears this week. No tears for Josh McCown. Just smiles and laughter. Well, the story, big one today for the Buccaneers defense. 6 sacks, the most they've had this year. 3 takeaways, and they sorely needed that. And 1 touchdown, a pick 6. And the defense taking charge early, and then the offense got into the act. And we'll tell you a little bit about that in the second half. So it'll be first down on the 5. Good run. Morris brings it out to the 18 and a first down.
But it's been about pressure. Pressure on Robert Griffin III, making him one-dimensional. Robert's not able to get to his third progressions on his throw. So what happens? He just holds the football, and having a field day is this defensive line of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They knew they had to get pressure with 4. They did that, forced RG3 into holding the football and some interceptions.
And the pass incomplete. Silas Redd, who was the intended receiver on that pass, into the game for the first time. And it'll be second down and 10. This time, Jacquez Smith. Good pressure there. And when you talk about the great work by the defensive line, who was responsible for a lot of those numbers you see there under Robert Griffin III's day, it's been the whole group. It's been 8 defensive linemen who have contributed.
Yeah, I can tell you this. When Trent Williams, left tackle for the Washington Redskins, went out of this game, you can kind of sense that the Tampa Bay defensive line said, hey, we can smell blood now. Let's go after the quarterback. Their best lineman is out of the game.
Here's Redd with the carry, and a good one. First down. Silas Redd with a first down out to the 34, and Josh Laribas, who took over for the injured Sean Laveau at left guard, with a good block and a gain of 14. Griffin, and he goes to Redd again on the receiving end, and he picks up about 4 yards. So let's talk about Robert Griffin III and the day he had. He started off in rocky fashion, and then he had a flurry just before the end of the half. How would you grade his performance today, Kirk?
You know, I saw that right before the half, he got into a rhythm. And then he came back, and it was just a different Robert. Much different Robert. I mean, I saw him slide. I saw him throw to the checkdowns. He stayed in rhythm. But Robert Griffin III, to me, when I asked him, it's just he's still developing the belief, the trust, the relationship with his quarterback. And he said it's different when he was out. He was charting plays, you know, while he was out. He was injured. So he was learning his standard operation and procedures of being on the line of scrimmage, learning the checks. And that today, when I see Robert Griffin III is still learning this offense.
So after the first down, Silas Redd carries, and with 1:57, our 2-minute warning here with a score 27-7 Tampa Bay. Just had our 2-minute warning, and there is Mike Evans, 7 catches, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 30 yards a reception. Second down and 8 for the Redskins. Griffin going underneath to Niles Paul, and he is about 3 yards shy of the first down. So not only 6 sacks today, the most for the Buccaneers in any game, the 6 allowed by the Redskins are the most that their team has allowed. Here is Silas Redd. He'll get the first down and a few more. And Alfred Morris emerged today, 96 yards rushing. That's the season's high for him. Add to that 36 as a receiver, 132 yards. And another flag is down here with 1:27 to go.
Holding, offense number 84. 10-yard penalty, be third down.
Redskins tried to get the ball to Deshaun Jackson a couple of times deep. It didn't work.
Well, they tried early on, and I thought those were missed points by Washington today. When you missed them in the first half and you missed them in the second half, and there was opportunity where the pressure of Tampa Bay forced Robert Griffin to throw the ball away and take a sack where Deshaun Jackson was wide open. I know it's frustrating for a wide receiver when you know you've beat man coverage that many times and can't connect on a passing touchdown.
Third down and 10, and they swing it out to Silas Redd, and he's tackled just shy of midfield. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to snap a 5-game losing streak. And both of their wins as they go to 2-8 on the road. First at Pittsburgh and then here. And where do you think Lovie Smith goes next week, folks? Yes, he goes to Chicago to go against the Bears. And believe me, he'll be a little happier going there with the win under his belt. As he said, can't read lips, but he's probably saying it's about time. Incomplete out to Red. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that was a 4th down play, and there's a flag down and another injured Redskin.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it's 4th and 5, incomplete, but roughing the passer, and it's Corey Lichtensteiger, the center, who's hurt.
You know, one thing that Lovie kept saying to us is that you are what your record is. And right now, this football team probably going to improve in a 2-8. But it's still the belief in the system. And one thing I can tell you, Lovie treats you like a man and said if you want to change who you are or change what your record is, it's upon you to go out and do that. The accountability, fixing that 4th quarter. And today, a 4th quarter that we haven't seen from this Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And you know what? He had a great record in Chicago.
Yes, he did.
I mean, his record is very impressive with the Bears. He's going there next week, home with Cincinnati, and he's got 2 more division games at Carolina and home with New Orleans to end the season. So who knows? Here's Red, thrown back. We're into the final minute of this game, and don't forget, the Bucs came in 3 games behind first place. There's not going to be any wild card from that division. Going to have to win the division, and when you're 3 back and you have 7 left, you know, you still have a chance. So that's going to be the game. The Redskins, meanwhile, dropped to 3-7. They've got road games at San Francisco and Indianapolis coming up next. Tough day for Jay Gruden, and the final score 27-7 for Kirk Morrison and Christina Pink. Dick Stockton, so long, and let's send it to Kurt Menefee and the boys in Los Angeles.